Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. It's Monday, so you know what that means. It's time to buy some more dividend paying stocks. If you've been following this journey, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so that you do not miss future videos. Also, please click the like button to help grow this channel and get the word out on dividend growth investing. Getting paid just for owning stocks. This is what dividend growth investing is all about. This is my weekly buy video. My current strategy is to deposit $100, my own money per week, and let the portfolio do the heavy lifting for me going forward. All dividends received will be reinvested back into that stock from which it was received. My goal is to put this money to work for me in the long term to build a growing and reliable income stream. I'm a long-term buy and hold investor who focuses primarily on individual blue chip stocks as well as ETFs and CEFs. What we're looking at right now is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, my Average Joe dividends portfolio, and we can look at the performance over the past year. It's done pretty well, almost a 12% gain. And let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look at the last 3 months. It's up 2.6%. We'll look at the last month, and we're down 2%. And then let's look at the last week, and almost 3% down this last week. So it's been kind of a tumble the last week or so. It's really gone down. You can see the portfolio has been up to highs of 243,000, almost that 244 mark. And then we're drifting back down. That's okay because we're still at those all-time highs for the S&P. And of course we're giving back a couple percentage, but we'll see. It could keep going down, or we could go back up. Of course, this was based on the news of inflation being higher than expected. No surprise to me whatsoever. I'm going to jump into the activity log next. I'm going to show you what those 5 stocks were that I picked, and what I've done is I have put $20 a piece into each of those, and I'll show you what those were. And here's the 5 buys. So Costco, $19.99. It should have been an even $20. I'm not sure what happened there, why I couldn't carry that extra cent. It's probably because Costco's stock price is so high. I believe it's in the 700s now, and it probably couldn't spend that last cent in there because of how high the stock price is and how small of a fractional share it would be. And then next up, Starbucks. Starbucks has been having a real hard time lately. They were over the $100 mark not too long ago, and now they're way down into the 80s, low 80s right now. And then A.O. Smith, I decided to put in there $20 in there. Same with Apple, struggling a little bit. And Procter & Gamble, $20, getting some more money in there before the ex-dividend day. They announced a nice dividend hike. Procter & Gamble did. I believe it was like 7%. So let's go take a look and see what that was. This is my Google Docs tracking sheet. I'll leave a link below to this tracking sheet. It shows all the positions in my portfolio, and yeah, it was a 7% dividend increase that Procter & Gamble announced. Now they're up to just over $1 per share per quarter. And what this tracking sheet shows, it shows all the positions in my portfolio. I have each company color coded with varying shades of green. The light green is for the first month of the quarter, which we are in. We are in April, so we are in month 1 of Q2. So we're in the light greens. Anything yellow, this is something I've sold. I decided to get out of Best Buy. Really just hasn't been doing what I expected it to do over a few years. So, and also their dividend increase in March, 2%. I wasn't too impressed with that. So I've decided to put that money elsewhere. And anything that is in light blue, this is a monthly payer, Realty Income, as well as BST. You can see here's the medium greens here. These are my May payers, and then the dark green, that's going to be in June. And you can see most of the companies are in the dark green. That's because most companies pay their dividend in the last month of the quarter, and that's every March, June, September, and December. So for this month, it's not going to pay my high dividends, but it'll definitely be over $500 for the month. And so far, I'm up to $76 $1.31. And then tomorrow I'm going to wake up to 2 dividends that are just going to show up into my account. And I haven't put them over here yet because I haven't received them. I like to put them over when money is in hand. And there's a 1-day delay, so usually, if you look it up, it's going to pay on April 15th, but there's a 1-day delay with M1, so April 16th is when that money will actually hit my account. And it'll be for O Realty, which is a monthly payer, like I said before, and then Fifth Third Bank Corp. So have a nice, let's see how much. It'll be about just under $30 will just show up into my account. And of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those proceeds and drip them right back into these positions, which I think right now are pretty good buys, especially O. O has been hammered lately because of the interest rates, so no surprise there. You can see what my average share price is in O and why I have a loss in O. And not too long ago, O was over $70 a share, and that was in a low interest environment. And I don't know how long it'll take to get back to that environment, or if we ever will be in that environment. But I think in the long term, this price is going to go higher over the years, and that's why for now I'm going to stick with O Realty. But you can see with this sheet tracks, it tracks everything I really need it to. With, you can see the company ticker symbol, the share price, the average share price that I bought into. You can see with KKR almost doubling my money with that. Here are the shares, and it's using the VLOOKUP for the shares on the M1 tab below, and I'll show you how that works. So when I buy positions, I don't have to type in the new number of shares or wait for a service that I'm paying for that uses Plaid, where it could be up to 24 hours to get those updates. It's instantaneous with a copy and paste, and I'll show you how that works. And then the market value, of course, is just the share price times the number of shares. And here's my cost basis here, and then my gain or loss in each position. You can see I have a few losers, but mostly I have gainers. And then here's the percent gain or loss, and then here's the quarterly dividend per share, and this one's variable SCHD. And then of course I have my 2 monthly payers. The rest, they're all quarterly except for those 2 monthly payers. Here's the dividend yield. Of course, I stress you shouldn't be looking just at the dividend yield. A lot of the companies that pay the lower dividend are the ones where I have the largest gain. Let's take a look at Nvidia. And not a lot of people consider Nvidia a dividend paying stock. It does pay a very tiny dividend yield of 0.02%, and then my yield on cost is 0.12%. But look at my gain on this. I've made 528% on my initial investment of $553, which is now worth $34.74. I'm not going to sell that because I don't want the tax events, and I think Nvidia will be a good investment in the long term. I'll hold on to these 4 shares. And we can see here's the yield percentage and yield on cost. And of course, look at Exxon here. My yield on cost is much higher because my average share price is much lower than the current share price of Exxon, which is nearing 120, which is unbelievable. And I bought most of my Exxon shares right about March 2020 is when I decided to pick that up. You can see in the $45 range. So I did quite well with Exxon. And then here's the pay date. Of course, that's very important to me because I want to know when I'm going to get paid. And then here is estimated dividend and I want to know what I'm getting paid as well. And for each month, since we're in April, I'm just going to, I'll track all these here and do a count up. And I also do a monthly video as well where I show you all the dividends. I'll go into M1 and show you all those dividends as proof that they were received into my account, rather than just show you a spreadsheet like a lot of people do. You can see here's the total dividends paid to me for each of the positions. Take a look at like an SCHD, approaching that $4,500 mark for SCHD. And we take a look at BST. I'm going to be over $6,000 after the end of this month. So that one's been a pretty good one for me. High income and also some surprising growth in there as well for BST. And I also track the dividend increase. Like, remember I was talking about Procter & Gamble. The year prior, Procter & Gamble had a 7% increase, but this year, surprise, 7%. And then I put the month of that likely announcement. And some of these companies don't pay a consistent raise or increase in their dividend. Like an Oracle, they seem to do it about every 2 years. So I put a VAR in there for variable. Same with O. They have a different problem where it seems like every quarter they'll raise their dividend like by 0.2% is what they'll do. So, but most of these companies, they increase it year over year, every year, which is nice. So I see an increase in my income whether I buy more shares or anything else. It's just the dividends or even drip. So the dividend will just go up just by the dividend raises themselves. We can see here at the bottom of the sheets, here's the total value of the portfolio. It just keeps going down. Like I was pretty close to 240 not too long ago, and then of course the dip that's happened. Here's my cost basis, so I'm still almost $38,000 still ahead. And here's the yield percentage, the average yield percentage of the entire portfolio. Here's the yield on my cost, average yield on cost for the whole portfolio. And then I had to build a little array here since I have 2 monthly pairs and I constantly sort these. So O and BST are constantly moving around and it's hard to get a count on these monthly pairs. So I created this array to capture what their dividends are, because in order to have the total quarterly dividends, I have to add in these amounts 2 more times because they're only captured 1 time here because they pay additional 2 times in a quarter. And on the sheet, they're only shown once. So, and I didn't want to show them like in 2 more instances of BST and O. That'd be too confusing. So I did an array that just pulled the amounts right here. You can see what the VLOOKUP is what it was doing and pulling them, and then adding this amount in twice into quarterly. So here's my monthly cash flow average, and every month this portfolio averages $894.61 quarterly income, $2683.82, and the annual income for this portfolio $10,735.28. The good news is this amount is not static. It can go up, of course it can go down too. And it did with SCHD announcing their dividend in Q1, but SCHD historically has had their lower dividend in Q1, so this is going to recover. I was well over $900 not too long ago, but this 0.611 dividend put me down lower, put me below the $900 mark, but I'm guessing it's going to be about 68 cents in Q2, and that's going to boost me up well over the $900 mark. And we'll see hopefully over 75 cents when we get to Q4. So you can see here's my strategy, $100 a week with the Monday buy. Dividends reinvested back into the company that paid them. And if a dividend is cut or suspended, that stock will be sold. And primarily I'm buy and hold. I'm not day trading, nothing like that. And here's just some of my 2024 goals: to have 1,200 shares in SCHD. Not quite there, 1158. I do have a lot more in an IRA, so I do have over 1,200 total, but not in this portfolio. So I wanted to have a portfolio value of $240,000. We did cross that, but then went back down. And then $1,050 average monthly dividend. That's my goal there. And then to have $12,500 annual cash flow average and a net worth of $1.75 million. I'm over 1.5 right now, but I want to add another $250,000 by the end of this year. And then I also have a goal of 2,000 shares of BST and have $500 of income from BST each and every month. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the updates from M1. We're still here, almost timed out. And I'm going to grab some data, and I'll leave a link below also to my M1 pie so you can see what I'm invested in. 53 positions right now, and these are sorted from largest to smallest. I'm going to grab everything starting from the name column, go down. And the data I'm really grabbing is the number of shares, my cost basis, my average cost as well. So I've grabbed that data, and I'm going to paste this into my M1 data tab, and it's going to change these amounts. It's going to change the number of shares for the 5 positions where I bought from, and it's going to change the income as well. So I'm going to put 894.61, and this is going to go up just a little bit. Of course, the quarterly and annual will go up as well, but not as much as the monthly. So actually I have that inverted. Annual is going to be larger, but you'll see it's more apparent with the month. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So 894.61 we're going to start with, and I'll put that into M1 data tab. Do a pay special, values only. Again, it's going to update those 5 buys in there. And it's not going to go up by much because I was buying things like, let's take a look real quick, we'll review it. The things I bought don't pay a high dividend, and that's okay because there's a lot of growth in them. Costco pays a very low dividend, below 1%. A.O. Smith is just over 1%. Apple is below 1%. So Procter & Gamble, I think, is the highest dividend paying position I have in here, and it's not a real high one. It's at 2.58%. Actually, Starbucks is the highest payer, so 2.68% is what was paid there. So we're up to 894.74, so I'm going to take that over to the next tab, and I track everything in my monthly average dividend tracking tab. Since we put a $100 deposit in and bought these positions, I'd like to show the effect and track progress or even regression like with SCHD. So we'll take that 894.74 over this tab. Scroll down here because I put each and every event in here. So we get 894.74 with a $100 deposit. And so it added an additional 13 cents of dividend income to the portfolio. And we can see tomorrow, for waking up, I'm going to get the O and fifth third dividend drips. And then what I'll do is carry over the 894.74. And then I'm going to do the same thing, the copy and paste tomorrow, but I won't do it in the video. And then this will modestly change. It's going to go up, probably less than a dime. But this is money that's I didn't have to kick in. This is just the snowball effect kicking back in there. And of course, what it's going to do is it's going to increase the dividend for those investments like Starbucks. The dividend, it's going to pay me in May 31st. It went up because of the $20 I put in there, and also the other positions that I bought into as well, like Procter & Gamble, added just a little bit to it as well. Same with A.O. Smith, but A.O. Smith pays only 1.5% dividend, so it's pretty modest, but it's been a good grower. You can see my average cost on A.O. Smith, $56, and now the stock's at $85, so I've done quite well with a 54% gain on that stock. So it's paying me a dividend, a growing dividend. You can see October they raised their dividend by 7%. We'll see if they can do that again next October. So I'll take those stock gains as well as the modest dividend, as well as that growing dividend. And I think over time it's just going to compound. We'll take a look at some of these errors here, like Best Buy. This one's no longer in the portfolio, so I have to kind of remove those remnants in there to get those error messages out of there. It should clean those up. Yeah, we can see the current yield on cost, so there's no more errors in that. And what I'll do is after this month I'll just delete this line. I have to keep it in because I have to show this dividend in my end of month video, the $8.70 from Best Buy. So that's all I wanted to show you, was what I bought this month, and those 5 stocks again, we'll go back to those: Costco, Starbucks, A.O. Smith, Apple, and Procter & Gamble. Let me know in the comments below what you're buying this week and what you think about these picks. Everyone have a great week, and everybody take care.